We recognize the scenery instantly. A girl in rags, a looming stone tower, and a life measured in grueling, thankless chores. While this feels like a European export, the earliest recorded Cinderella was Ye Shen, a girl living in China during the 9th century Tang dynasty. Long before the glass slipper, she relied on the magical bones of a fish to escape her servitude. In pre-Islamic Persia, centuries before the Western versions were penned, the story of Mat-Pi-Shani followed an identical path of mistreatment and supernatural rescue. These disparate cultures settled on the same character structure: a passive, virtuous daughter, a father who fails to protect her, and a stepmother who provides the primary antagonism. Humanity appears to have reached a global consensus on this cast. It raises the question of whether these stories are simple bedtime entertainment or a delivery system for something more clinical. Analytical psychology views these stories as guides for individuation, the lifelong process of separating the ego from the unconscious to reach psychological wholeness. Bruno Bettelheim argued that children face a terrifying emotional hurdle. They cannot safely resent a perfectly loving mother without experiencing debilitating guilt. To manage this, the child's psyche performs a defensive split. The good mother is preserved, projecting anger onto a wicked stepmother. The father then abdicates his role, removing protection. This vacuum forces the child to develop reason. To endure cruelty, the independent ego finally solidifies. The stepmother functions as a necessary trigger. Her antagonism provides the exact amount of psychic friction required to outgrow infancy. Without this conflict, the hero remains a permanent infant. The stepmother is the primary agent of their development. A feminist reading examines these exact same stories as tools for cultural conditioning. In this view, the character archetypes are not internal mechanisms, but external social requirements. During the 17th and 19th centuries, European men like Charles Perrault and the Brothers Grimm collected these oral myths and refined them. As they wrote, they imported the strict patriarchal values of their own eras. The Grimm brothers, in particular, emphasized a specific type of heroine, one whose primary virtues are silence, physical beauty, and a complete lack of personal initiative. This created a binary of the angel and the monster. The heroine is praised for her passive endurance of suffering, effectively rewarding her for having no discourse rights. Meanwhile, the older, independent woman, the one who wields authority or magic, is classified as monstrous. She represents a threat to the established social order. Even the resolution of Rapunzel follows this pattern. The prince's arrival simply shifts control of her life from the independent sorceress to a male savior. Her autonomy remains non-existent. The psychological guide for independence becomes, under this lens, a blueprint for submission. The story teaches that a woman's survival depends on her ability to appeal to male authority. These stories carry a dual legacy. They are brilliant explorations of how the human mind matures, yet they have been weaponized to enforce gender compliance for centuries. The internal necessity of confronting the shadow is often indistinguishable from the external social pressure to remain passive and angelic. Recent adaptations have begun responding to this. In the 2015 Cinderella, the heroine's self-awareness is prioritized over her rescue, while the 2021 version explicitly replaces submissiveness with lyrics about being bold and strong. These narratives are living documents. We are watching the transition from stories of passive endurance to stories where the heroine establishes her own value before the prince ever arrives. We will always need stories to help us navigate the internal struggle for selfhood. But as we write the next generation of these tales, we are the ones who get to define what makes a hero and what makes a monster.